right, welcome. We are going to get started. My name is Lindsay, and we are live today from Evolution Yoga Studios. This is my girl Ray. She comes to teach with me on Friday mornings at hospice, and often she'll just curl up near someone. She particularly loves it when they head into child's pose. Hi Allie, hi Cooper. So she's going to be hanging around with going live. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're just going to try our best here. So thanks for all of you joining. My name is Lindsay. Today it's a very gentle 1 hour-ish yoga class. We're going to do some Hatha. We're going to do a little bit of restoration. We're going to focus on our breath. For those of you who have taken a class with me before, I often wear this shirt because you're doing it right. So often people say, am I doing it right? And they look up at me and I'll say yes. If it feels good in your body, you're doing it right. So a couple props that you might want for the class. You can use books instead of blocks. And you may want to grab a bolster if you've got one. And if you don't, you can grab a blanket or a couch cushion, roll it up. This is one of my mom's beautiful quilts. And get cozy. We're going to start on our backs. So take a moment to just find your way down to a comfortable position on your back. If you need a little bit of low back support, I would suggest tucking a prop under the knees, such as your bolster or your rolled up towel or blanket. If you need a little cushion under the neck, we really want to be comfortable here, so just making your way down to your back. You can extend the legs long, you could draw the arms out nice and wide. If it's comfortable, close down the eyes and just trust that you're doing it right. Listen to your body, settling in and beginning to focus on your breath. Begin to notice the quality of that breath. Begin to notice if you can expand on that breath, slowing it down even more. Begin to notice where your breath travels to in the body. Without changing anything, just noticing. I invite you to take a nice, slow scan at the body, starting at the crown of your head and easing your way down, nice and slowly, like honey pouring out of a jar. And today I want you to pay attention to any areas of the body where maybe you're noticing a little bit of discomfort. Those are the areas today that we're going to direct our breath to. Invite some softness and a little bit of ease. I also invite you to find one area of the body along that scan that feels strong today. So that could be a physical part. That could be your character. Noticing if you can slow down the breath even more. Today on our mat, I invite you to take what you need. If that is laying here for the hour, then feel free to do that, permission granted. I do offer different modifications for poses, so I invite you to really find what feels good in your body. will generally demonstrate the gentlest version. Those of you who have done many classes before and you'd like to go a little bit deeper, I also invite you to do that as well. So taking what you need on the mat, easing out if there's any sensations of pain. We're going to begin to move with our breath. So we're on our backs. Let's draw the palms down beside us. So the legs can be bent or extended, that's your choice. We're going to move with our breath. So on your first inhale, let's take a nice inhale, draw the arms up, and exhale down. Tuning into intentional movement. Moving with your breath, synchronizing your movement. So you may begin to extend the arms overhead further. I always suggest warming up, almost as if you would approach getting on a swing. So we wouldn't go right to the full peak if we were pumping on a swing. You just begin easing into it. Staying within your comfortable shoulder range. Inhaling to open up. Exhaling to draw the palms down. The next time you inhale up, we're going to add on a leg as you exhale. We'll draw the right knee into the chest. Inhale, release that leg down, draw the arms up overhead. Exhale in the other side. So we're working side to side with our breath. As you draw that knee in, give it a little squeeze, flex through the foot, activate through the back of that calf muscle. We're going to do one more cycle here. Inhale, open, exhale, alternate knee squeeze. Always evening our sides. We'll release the arms and the legs down. We're going to plant the feet, preparing for a rolling bridge or a pelvic tilt. So take a moment to walk the feet in a little bit closer to your sits bones. We want about a fist width distance between our knees. Palms can be ground down beside you. On your inhale, we're going to press into the feet, lift the hips up, and exhale the spine down, nice and slowly. If this is a difficult movement for you, you could do a pelvic tilt, just moving within your range. Maybe each time you come up, you can come a little bit higher into your rolling bridge. So sticking with the height that works for you, bringing a nice softness across the jaw and the collarbone. If you'd like to add on the arms here as the hips lift up, you could bring the arms up towards the ceiling and exhale everything down with that breath. Finishing off one more of our rolling bridge here. We're going to heel toe our feet out wide now, maybe to the edge of your mat, or if you've got a blanket, a little bit wider. Arms can come out to a T or to cactus, depending on if you have a neighbor near you. We'll draw a nice inhale at center. As you exhale, we'll draw both knees over to the right side. And inhale back through center over to the left side. So we're windshield wipering our knees. So a couple options for the neck, staying at center. If you'd like, you could begin to gaze over the opposite shoulder of the knees. So as the knees come to the left, maybe a glance over the right shoulder. Drawing everything through center, exhaling to the other side. We'll do one more cycle here of our windshield twist. Moving with your own breath. Finishing on the opposite side you started. Beautiful. When you're ready, come back through center. We can heel toe the feet in. Let's hug the knees into the chest. And see what feels nice here. Perhaps a little bit of a rock side to side. You could do some circular motion by lowering the feet slightly. Just exploring what feels nice in your body. And if you're doing circles, let's pause and switch directions. So normally when I teach for the warm-up, I'm generally standing and moving around. Getting the whole class in today. We're going to release the feet down and transition up to seated. So just making your way up comfortably. You can always sit onto a small pillow if you'd like. I like to sit onto my chip foam block, tucking the sits bones just onto the edge of that mat. So finding any comfortable position for the legs, so that could be crossed, your legs can be extended or in butterfly. If you need a little bit of support, you could always take props and bring them under the knees. And those can look at different heights, so whatever your body needs this morning. I'm going to find a little bit of length in the spine, lifting through the crown of the head, and perhaps closing down the eyes for a moment, just tuning into how it feels to sit, taking nice full breaths. So we'll do one more here. See if you can soften into the shoulders with the exhale. Beginning to move with our neck nice and slowly, keeping length in the spine. We're going to tuck the chin down towards the chest. Enjoy a nice full breath here. And then gently moving in a half circle, we'll draw the right ear towards the right shoulder. Bring the chin back along the chest and over to the left side. Just working again within that comfortable range. And if there's another movement that feels good for you here, I invite you to explore that. And maybe you get to an area where you just want to take a nice full breath into a stretch. Again, permission granted. Take what you need here. Take a moment to breathe into that space. Offer it a nice softening. We'll do one more each side, finishing towards the left. Draw the chin back down through center, lift that gaze up, coming into a few shoulder circles. Inhale the arms up, exhale back and down. Nice, let's settle those shoulders down. See if we can move through the practice today with a nice soft, open heart. So come into a nice side stretch. We'll take the right palm, plant it down, inhale the left arm up and over. Continuing to move with our breath, inhale the other arm up and over. If you need to modify for your shoulder, bring the hand to the top of that shoulder, and you can still enjoy that nice side stretch into the rib cage. So your sequence of breath might be different from mine. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Finishing off one more each side. When you're done, coming back through center. If you have your legs crossed, we're going to switch the cross, maybe to your wonky side. So coming into a couple gentle torso circles, we're going to take a nice inhale, lift the heart up. As you exhale, moving forward in a nice gentle circle. Moving one big circle per breath cycle. I invite you to close down the eyes here if you'd like. Move freely, see how the body feels. So the next time you come back through center, pausing here, take a nice inhale, lift that heart. As you exhale, moving in the other direction. So when we move in these sort of free movements, permission to move, add on anything that feels good in the body. So we're going to do one more here. Beautiful. Coming back through center. We'll move through a nice gentle twist. So if you have any discomfort in the shoulders, keep the arms down, just doing the movement with the twist. If you'd like to add on the arms, we'll draw the fingertips down towards the earth. We'll inhale to draw the arms up. Twisting over to the right side and allow the arms to come down wherever they fall. Inhale, draw up through center, twisting over to the other side, exhale down. Moving with that breath, inhale up, exhale down. Good. Close down the eyes here if you'd like. Another option would be to allow the eyes and gaze to follow the hands. So maybe if that suits your neck, you could look up as you sweep the arms up. Inhaling up, exhale down. One more time each side. Always evening out. Draw the hands up, and we'll connect them down through heart center, taking a nice moment to pause here. I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. Today mine is stepping outside of my comfort zone. But maybe for you that could just be a small phrase, I am here, I'm on my mat. Taking one last breath here. Exhaling to soften. Beautiful. We're going to transition to tabletop. So coming to our hands and knees. So if you need to cushion your knees at all, you could draw a nice small pillow or maybe your blanket under the knees, or you could kneel on a foam block if you've got one. And if you have any wrist discomfort, you can be down to your forearms. So whatever feels most comfortable. Setting up a nice box pose. So the hips are over the knees and the shoulders are over the palms or the elbows if you've got the forearms down. Have a look between the knees that we have about a fist width distance. Spread the fingers wide if you've got the palms down. We'll have a look down towards the floor. We'll come into our wag the dog for Ray today. Take a nice inhale at center. As you exhale, we'll give a little squeeze on the right side, bringing the right shoulder towards the right hip. Inhale back through center, over to the left side. Moving side to side here. Finishing off one more to the left. And we'll come back through center. Coming into a few rounds of cat-cow. Take an inhale here at your center. As you exhale, round the spine. Look towards the thighs. And as you inhale, we'll lower the belly, allowing the chest and gaze to come forward into cow. Exhaling to round out. Moving with your breath. Feel free to add on any additional movement that feels nice. You could really bend through the elbows if you'd like. Don't worry if your breath seems a little bit off with your sequencing. As long as you're breathing and moving, you are doing yoga. We're going to finish off one more full round here, rounding out. Inhaling to come forward, meeting in a neutral spine. So we're going to walk the knees together, closing off that gap. Coming into spinal extension. So we'll draw a nice flex through the right foot on your inhale, pressing the right heel back. Exhale down. Inhale up, left side flexing. Toes are pointing down, heel extends towards the back. Moving with your breath. Inhale to lift, exhale down. So once you've found this rhythm, permission to stay here with the legs. If you'd like to add on, you could begin to lift and option to extend through the opposite arm. Coming into our spinal extension, reaching forward. Now if you are doing the arms forward, rotate the palm as if we're going to shake hands. So the palm is internally rotated. Let's even our sides out. Finish off one more cycle. We're going to find our child's pose, my favorite pose. So you can take the knees together. I like to take mine a little bit wide. Keep the big toes together and we sink our hips towards the heels. We have a couple options for the arms. You could keep them extended. You could keep the hands stacked under the brow, or the hands can be down by your side. One thing we want to focus on is getting our head connected to something. So that could be the mat, it could be a block or a pillow if you need a little bit of height. Settling in here, allow the belly to really soften. See if you can direct the breath nice and low. Every exhale, maybe those hips sink a little bit closer to the heels. At any point in the class, if you need to come to child's pose, I invite you to do what you need. Take two more nice full breaths here. to begin to move a little bit with our breath. So there's a couple of options here. If your knees are wide, draw them in a little bit narrower. On your next inhale, we're going to come up to plank. I'm going to keep my knees down in plank, but if you'd like to lift your knees up, just curl the toes under, finding your plank. Beautiful. As we exhale, we're going to bend the elbows nice and close to the sides of the ribs as we lower down. Palms are under the shoulders, preparing for a nice baby cobra on your next inhale. Peel the heart off the mat. Beautiful. We're going to push back to child's pose. So taking 2 breaths here. So that little sequence we're going to do a few more times, and if that sequence was a little bit challenging for you, what I invite you to do is move with your breath from tabletop on your inhale and exhale back to child's pose. So staying with that movement. If you'd like to join in the low flow vinyasa again, on your next inhale, let's lift up, coming into our plank. You may need to walk the hands forward a little bit. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. Pushing back to child's pose. Taking 2 breath cycles here. Inhale forward to your plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, baby cobra, or maybe you're ready for up dog if you'd like to press up a little bit more. And option to push back through child's pose or downward dog this time. If you're coming into down dog, we tuck those toes and send the hips up towards the sky. You could pedal the feet here slightly. One more breath wherever you are. And we're going to do one more cycle, floating forward to your plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Pushing back through child's pose or down dog, yogi's choice. So if you're in child's pose, we're going to lift the hips off the heels. If you're in downward dog, let's drop down to the knees. We're going to make our way up to our forward fold or a standing half lift. So bringing just one foot at a time forward, we're going to make our way to a nice gentle fold. I would recommend staying in a half lift, keeping the head above the heart. If you have any discomfort in the sinuses, low blood pressure would be another one. Or just anything going on in the low back where you'd like to stay in your half lift. If you're folded, the knees can be bent generously. You can relax the chest towards the thighs. Beautiful. If you are down folded, we're going to all meet in a half lift. So we're going to find some length in the spine. Hands will connect to the thighs or the shins. So I like to pretend here with the spine that you could serve hors d'oeuvres on your back, keeping it nice and long. Nice. Let's bend the knees slightly. We're going to begin to slowly rise up. As we come up, we'll roll the shoulders down a few times, settling in. Beautiful. We're going to start a nice gentle chair flow. So having about a fist width distance between our feet, we're going to start in Tadasana, our mountain pose. So take a moment just to settle in, maybe lift and spread the toes, soften into the knees. We'll roll the shoulders back and down, drawing the palms forward. Let's see if we can lift the heart and the chin a little bit, taking a nice full breath here. With your breath on your inhale, sweep the arms up. We'll gather the hands down through heart center as we sit into our imaginary chair, moving with our breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale into your chair. Your chair could be a high bar stool, it could be a low IKEA kids chair. Take whatever chair you'd like. And a couple options with the eyes as you move. Again, you could draw the gaze up. Maybe close down the eyes, challenge the inner balance a little bit. Tune in to what's going on for you today. So we're going to do 2 more here. Beautiful. 1 more. And if you've ever taken my class before, you know we like to stay in our chair a little bit. So I'm just going to turn so you can kind of see. We want to keep the spine nice and long in our chair. Again, you could stay up high, you could come down low. Maybe today you do a little bit of a rocking chair. So 1 more full breath here. Exhale, maybe sit a little lower. Beautiful. Let's straighten those legs and release the arms down. Good morning, thighs. All right, so we're going to do some standing poses today. A nice gentle warrior series. So again, if you're just joining me, my name's Lindsay. We're doing a nice gentle class today. So let's come towards the top of your mat. And we'll draw our hands to the hips. Right leg is going to step back and plant on a 45-degree angle. Now we want to steer our hips back towards the short edge of our mat and then gently bend into the front knee. So as you can see here, my knee is right over my ankle. If your knee is coming over too far, just ease out or maybe scoot the front foot forward. Take a nice breath here. If you'd like to find an arm variation for your warrior 1, I invite you to do that. But I'm going to move with our breath a little bit here. So if you'd like to join me, palms come down towards the thighs. On your inhale, we'll sweep the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, open up through the heart. Inhale up, exhale all the way down. One more time, coming up to shoulder height. Exhale, open the heart. Inhale up. This time, bring the hands down through heart center. We could stay here in our pose. You could extend the arms up. Or my personal favorite is just to draw the arms and fingertips back, opening through the heart. Settling into our Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Extra little challenge for your Warrior 1 could be to take a nice slow blink or close the eyes down. Taking 1 more nice full breath here. See if you can soften into the upper body. Transition to Warrior 2, taking the right foot back a little bit further this time. Hips are opening up to the long edge of our mat. We're still bending into that front knee, making sure the knee is right over the ankle. As well, check that the knee is opening up to the pinky toe edge of the foot, just to really check that alignment. And then with the shoulders right over the hips, we can bring the arms through heart center. You could extend 1 arm forward or both arms extended out. If it's comfortable for you today, you could glance over the left fingertips. Beautiful. And just choosing whichever variation suits you. Soften into the shoulders. I'm going to rest my hands at heart center. Enjoying some nice full breaths here in your Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. transitioning now to peaceful warrior. Draw that right hand down the back thigh. We'll flip the left palm up, reach that arm up towards the ceiling. Any discomfort in the shoulder, you can bring the arm down. So we want to feel that nice stretch into the side body. You could look up if that suits your neck. If you need to straighten the front leg briefly for a little hip flexor reprieve, feel free to do that. We'll take one more nice full breath here. Beautiful. We're going to straighten the front leg. Release that left arm down. We'll bring the left toes to word garbles, to line up with the toes. We're going to bring the hands to the hips. Take a nice inhale, lift that heart. As you exhale, coming down with a nice long spine. And here you can reach for any of your props or pets, or maybe the floor. Just taking a nice wide stretch, fold. If you need to keep the head above the heart here, you could always use a prop to keep the spine a little bit longer, like we did in our half lift earlier. May feel nice to shift the little legs, so bending into one knee, changing that stretch along the inside of the thigh. In this wide fold, just explore what feels good. Evening out your sides if you're shifting. And I cue a pretty specific way to come up if you've taken my class before. If you haven't, bend the knees slightly. We'll bring one hand and then the others toward the thigh. We're going to shift our gaze right down at the floor and slowly begin to rise up, looking down the whole way. Once we're upright, the chin should be tucked in towards the chest. We're going to enjoy a nice full breath before we look up. Then we can lift that chin, and we'll gently heel toe the feet in. So the reason I cue that way is so that when we come up from our fold, we aren't rising up and getting a little bit dizzy. So that's how I tend to cue. And we'll try our other side for our warrior sequence. So let's draw the hands towards the hips. Left leg is going to step back on a 45-degree angle this time. Bending into the front knee, and then hips are steering forward to the short edge of your mat. Beautiful. We're going to draw the hands down to our hips. If you'd like to skip this arm movement, just find the hands in any position you'd like for your warrior one. This time I'm going to face you for the arm movement. So palms down beside us. On your next inhale, sweep the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, open the heart. Inhale, overhead. Exhale all the way down. 2 more times with your breath. Let's connect the hands down through heart center. And then choosing whichever arm variation suits you for this pose. You could be here, you could be here, you could be here, or maybe you have your own variation. Wherever you are, soften into the shoulders. Again, that extra challenge for your warrior one could be to take a nice slow blink or close down the eyes. Notice what happens in the feet when you do that. Beautiful. We're going to step back to warrior two. Taking that left foot back a little bit further, still planting it on a 45-degree angle and bending into the front knee. So now our hips open to the long edge of our mat. I have two mats set up here if you're wondering why I'm switching. So we're going to still bend into that front knee. Check that knee is right over the ankle. Often in this pose, the knee wants to travel inward. So opening it up to that right pinky toe edge. And then we can rest our hands at heart center or extend out long through warrior two. Maybe glancing this time over the right fingertips. You may find too, as you stay in the pose a little bit longer, maybe you can find a little bit of length in the feet. We'll take two more nice full breaths here. Transitioning to our peaceful warrior. Flip that right palm. Left hand can come down the back thigh as we sweep the right arm up. We're still bending into that front knee, but if you need to, give it a little rest. Straighten that front leg and then re-bend into the knee. We're enjoying a nice side stretch into the right side of the body. One last breath here. I'm going to straighten the front leg, release that right arm down. We'll bring the right toes forward, taking another nice wide fold. Hands can be on the hips, or maybe this time you draw them out nice and wide. Inhale wherever you are and start by lifting the heart. The heart leads as we come down with a nice long spine. When you're ready, reach down for your prop or the floor. And just take a few moments to see what you need in this pose. Again, it could be stillness. It could be a little bit of movement. Option to do a little twist here if you'd like. Bringing one hand through center. Inhale the other arm up. Exhale down. To rise again. So shifting your gaze down to the floor, bend the knees slightly. We'll bring one hand and then the other to the thighs as we slowly rise up, looking down the whole way. Tucking the chin into the chest. Enjoy a nice breath here. Then we can lift that gaze up. We're going to briefly transition to goddess or horse pose. So we'll bring the heels in once. Toes are out on a 45-degree angle. Arms can rest at heart center or your goalposts or cactus arms, whatever feels most comfortable for you. We're going to bend into the knees, finding your goddess. A couple of options here. Stay where you are. You could pedal one heel at a time, maybe. Or you could move a little bit with your breath. Maybe you inhale and rise an inch and exhale down. Just one more nice full breath here. Beautiful. We're going to straighten those legs. Release the arms and heel toe the feet in. I'd like to say great work, but I can't see you. So I'm assuming you're doing great work or resting, which is also very important. So we're going to do a balance pose, or tree today. So a couple different variations. If you need to move towards wall space and have something to put your hand on, feel free to do that now. I will also demonstrate with a block just for a different variation. So let's root down the right foot to start. So really root that down. Soft little bend into the knee. Variation one would be to bring your heel just above the ankle and tripod the toe down. You could draw the sole of the foot to the calf. You could also lift up and over the knee, finding whichever variation you'd like. And then if you'd like to combine the first two, you could bring a block just to give you a little bit of height while still tripoding the foot. We'll find a little bit of softness across the heart and shoulders, and then choose an arm variation for your tree. Maybe you grow your branches, and maybe your branches move. So if you can find a little bit of length in your tree trunk. Trees are patient. That is something we need to use at this time. Little extra challenge maybe to close down the eyes or take a nice slow blink. Trees sometimes get windy then. That's okay. Beautiful. I'm going to release that side down. And give that standing leg a little bit of movement if you need to. And we'll try our other side. So rooting down the left foot, little soft bend there. Again, finding the variation that suits you. So you could be here, we could be here, or here. And I will demonstrate with a prop. Beautiful. Your sides can vary, so don't worry if one side feels a little bit different than the other. That's okay. Remember, it's really important to send the body those messages, not, oh, I can't do it, this side is my bad side. So we're working on it. We're all works in progress. So choose whichever arm variation for your tree that you'd like. I'm going to draw the arms out this time, finding a little bit of length in our beautiful trees. Again, option to take the eyes closed down softly, testing the balance. Taking 2 more breaths wherever you are in your tree. Release the arms down. Beautiful. Give that standing leg a little bit of movement. Beautiful. We're going to transition down. We've earned our way down. So, however you'd like, bend the knees slightly. You can slide the hands down, coming into a very nice, gentle fold. A couple of options here. Again, you could stay in your half lift. You could bend the knees generously. You could even lift the toes up, bringing the fingertips under, and coming into gorilla, taking a little bit more of a stretch into the shoulders. And just see what feels nice down here. And when you're ready, we're going to just bend the knees more and come down. Keeping an eye on our time, we're going to come to a seated position. So I invite you to sit again onto a block or a little pillow if you need to, just to find a little bit of height in the spine. We're going to do our half Lord of the Fish twist. So we'll draw the feet out front, and we're going to hug the right knee into the chest. Beautiful. So there's a couple different variations you could do here. You could step the leg over. And you could also bend the bottom knee. So choose whichever variation you'd like. I'm going to stay back in the first variation. Find a little bit of length in the spine. And then we're twisting towards that bent knee, towards the right side. So your left arm can hug around that knee. Maybe the right hand comes behind you. You could glance over the right shoulder if that suits your neck. One more nice full breath here. And gently release out of our twist, maybe doing a little counter twist to the left side briefly. and then we'll extend that leg out in front. Draw the left side in. Choose the variation for your twist. Take a nice inhale, grow that spine. As you exhale, twisting to the left side, hugging the left knee in with the right arm. We're going to come back through center. Beautiful. Release that leg. And transitioning down to our back. So if you need to, grab a blanket near you. If you want to be warm for your Shavasana, bring your props alongside. What I would recommend, if you have something available, we're going to do a restorative bridge shortly. So you need a block or maybe a cushion from your couch to tuck under the hips. So make your way down comfortably to your back. Cushion your neck if you need to. You might feel really nice just to extend the legs long in a brief pre-Shavasana. Sending the breath nice and low towards the hips. So we're going to bend into our knees, transitioning to our reclined butterfly pose. You may wish to just tuck the low back in here, imprinting the low spine. We'll draw the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to open to the sides. If you need to, you can tuck a prop. It almost looks like I've got my dog under one side, so she can tuck me there. So you can adjust your sides just to find a little bit of support in your restorative butterfly. And then arm options, see what feels nice. You could hug the hands in towards the belly, maybe one close to the heart. Or you could draw the arms out wide with the palms up. Seeing if you can soften anywhere in this pose. Taking a nice slow scan. Every exhale is an opportunity to soften into the body. Enjoying 2 more breaths here, noticing if there's anywhere in the body that you can soften. Transitioning out of our pose, you can draw the hands down towards the outside of the thigh and gently guide the legs up. Beautiful. Come into our restorative bridge. So grab your prop and we'll walk the feet in a little bit closer to the sits bones. We can have that fist width distance again between our knees. When you're ready, root in through the feet, lift the hips and slide your prop under the sacrum, under the low back, the tailbone, resting down onto your prop. And again, you can bring the arms wherever you'd like, so maybe hugging them in towards the torso or taking them out nice and wide. So we're offering the body a nice gentle inversion, allowing the blood to recirculate. So if you have plow in your practice or you'd like to lift the legs up, option to try that. So you could lift them up, maybe up towards the ceiling, maybe the knees bend. Let's see what feels nice here for you. Anytime we can come into a gentle inversion, we can help calm the nervous system. It's a really nice pose to do before you go to sleep. Take 3 more nice slow breath cycles here, wherever you are. We're going to prepare to come out by engaging through the feet, lifting the hips slightly, just sliding the block out, and then we can slowly tuck the spine down. Beautiful. Might feel really nice just to hug the knees into the chest here one last time. Maybe offering a gentle rock side to side. You can curl the neck up if that feels okay for you. And we're going to transition to our final Shavasana. So that could look differently for everybody. I'm going to tuck my bolster under the knees just to show you that variation. You may come back to butterfly, see what feels good. In our Shavasana, we want to find the Marriott or 4 seasons of comfort, that ultimate comfort, just to let go in the body, find some stillness and absorb our practice today. So I've got a reading that I'm going to share while you're in Shavasana. It's from the Daily Om, and you take what you like, leave the rest. There is always something to be grateful for, even when life seems hard. When times are tough, it can be difficult to take the time to feel grateful. Yet that is when gratitude can be most important. If we can look at our lives during periods of challenge and find something to be grateful for, then we can transform our realities. There are blessings to be found everywhere. We start to notice one blessing and then another. When we choose to be grateful, we notice that every breath is a miracle and each smile becomes a gift. A simple sandwich becomes a feast. A trinket is transformed into a treasure. Living in a state of gratitude allows us to spread our abundance because that is the energy that we emanate from our beings. The more we appreciate life, the more life appreciates and bestows with us with more goodness. So I invite you to just take a few more moments in your Shavasana. You can begin by just inviting a little bit of movement through the fingers and toes, and maybe inviting a deeper breath back into the body. Beginning to add a little bit of movement to reawaken, maybe guiding the neck side to side slowly, or taking the arms up overhead like a nice long morning stretch. And I invite you, when you're ready, just to roll to your side, pausing there for a couple of breaths before we close out our practice today seated. When you've come to your comfortable seat to finish out, Finding a little bit of length in the spine, perhaps a softening across the shoulders. And I invite you to bring your arms wherever you're comfortable to signal the end of practice today. That could be hands on the knees or hands at heart center. Taking a moment just to find a little bit of a softening across the heart. Namaste.